YouTube has started demonetizing dinosaur and kaiju animation channels under the claim that their content harms children, even though these videos were never made or presented as kids' content. The common thread across the affected channels is subject matter. Dinosaurs and kaiju are being treated as inherently child-oriented. Sure, as someone speaking who makes content in that niche, it's abundantly clear that children make up a very large chunk of that audience. However, this has caused YouTube's system to lump all 2D and 3D animated content in this niche as being in violation of their terms of service. In the eyes of their AI moderation system, anything that is remotely intense, violent, or frightening becomes a massive liability, and as a result, it's a direct threat to children. That's, of course, their reasoning. On February 11th, 2026, Dexerto tweeted out, "Animation YouTube channels say the platform's AI moderation is inexplicably demonetizing their dinosaur and kaiju videos," with a quote from content creator DinoMania reading the following. "Apparently kaiju and dinosaurs are strictly for little babies, so if you make videos that just so happen to not be fetus friendly, you get demonetized." In the replies, there were a ton of content creators voicing their complaints over being demonetized, with Power Nana tweeting, "This happened to me 50 days ago. My channel is gaming, not animation, but in some of my videos there are large monsters in it. I don't know if that's because of it or not, because they won't tell me what I did." Another Twitter user, Mosering, says, "Yes, it happened to both of my channels, involving minor. Deadass, I animate dinosaurs, of course, because I can't animate humans." And their screenshot shows a YouTube studio message that says, "What happened? After reviewing your channel using a combination of automated systems and human reviewers, we found that it does not follow YouTube's channel monetization policies, reviewer feedback, harmful content involving minors. Here's what you can do." And then it says you can appeal it. I'm sure it goes on, and of course it just sends you down a rabbit hole of complete nonsense, because that's how YouTube works. One content creator named Pivot Master says the following, "At Team YouTube, my channel was demonetized 5 months ago for dangerous or sexualized content involving minors, and after many attempts at trying to appeal the decision with no result, I decided to make a video, and that video is titled, 'There is a Big Problem at YouTube.' Team YouTube responded saying, 'If this is your first rejection, you can reapply to the YouTube Partnership Program 30 days after receiving your application decision email. If this isn't your first rejection, you'll have to wait 90 days from your application decision email to reapply. To confirm when you're eligible to reapply, you can monitor the Earn page in YouTube Studio.'" And really quick, this is Pivot Master's original video. I'm going to play just a little snippet from it.
"I started my channel back in 2014, and since October 2019, I have been consistently posting and never had any problems with any of the YouTube's policies. Each animation takes me countless of hours, weeks, and sometimes months to prepare, creating one frame after another for thousands of frames per animation. Then the videos are then go through the process of editing and sound design before finally being posted on YouTube. When you go through my videos, they all consist of the same kaiju, dinosaur topics. Some of the videos have the inclusion of humans as background characters, however, never minors."
Another YouTuber named Up From The Depths, quote, "I got demonetized as well. I eventually got remonetized thanks to my network, Screenwave Media. But this is what I had to deal with regarding YouTube's awful support. They would refuse to give me a straight answer why and doubled down repeatedly." And here's that actual email chain. We're going to go through it here. YouTube Partnership Support from Google.com says, "This is Emin from YouTube Support Team. I understand you have concerns regarding your channel Up From The Depths. It looks like our team had already reviewed your appeal and your channel and was not able to accept you into the YouTube Partner Program. You can still reapply to the YouTube Partner Program 90 days after, blah, 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 blah." It kind of goes on with the usual corporate speak. Up From The Depths responded by saying, "You guys still have not told me what about my content violates your policies. How can I make changes if I don't know what changes are required? You do see the issue with this, right? Is it because it's dinosaur-related content? That's the only thing I can think of. Dinosaurs are not kids-only content, and I am not the only one making ARC content on this platform. A game that is not rated for kids, I may add. Plenty of other YouTubers have and haven't been demonetized. Can we actually have a proper discussion about this?" YouTube responds saying, please know that your channel has already been reviewed by internal team and has exhausted all efforts and looked at all possible angles to determine whether or not your channel adheres with our policies and guidelines. With that being said, we have confirmed that your channel was correctly rejected for monetization and that decision is final. We've already exhausted all the support options that we can offer you at this time. Don't hesitate to reach out in case you have other questions or concerns. All the best, Emin. Up from the Depths responds saying, why can't you tell me what specifically about my content is harmful or endangering to minors? Why can I not get an answer on this? YouTube responds saying, thanks for circling back. Please know that your channel has already been reviewed by our internal team and has exhausted all efforts and looked at all possible angles to determine whether or not your channel adheres with our policies and guidelines. With that being said, we have confirmed that your channel was correctly rejected and that decision is final. Again, they say the same thing. Unfortunately, we've already exhausted all the support options that we can offer you at this time. All the best, Emin. Up from the Depths responds, I don't think they know that Emin probably isn't a real person, but regardless. Okay, so then tell me, what about my content is harmful/dangerous for minors? You have still not told me specific examples. I want specific examples, timestamps. My channel has videos of footage made from a game called Ark Survival Evolved, a game not made for kids. My videos are specifically labeled not made for kids. If my channel isn't safe for kids, then you may as well flag the hundreds of other channels covering Ark content. This is incredibly hypocritical on your part, and you guys refusing to give me the answers I'm looking for is making you look worse. YouTube responded saying, thanks for writing back. We appreciate you seeking clarity in regard to the suspension of your channel from the YouTube Partnership Program. While we recognize your desire for more information, our internal policies limit the details we can share. Please note that this is different from made for kids content. To give you an idea, channels may not be eligible for monetization if they repeatedly upload mature content that targets minors, content labeled for kids in the title, description, tags, or audience selection, or contains kid-friendly elements, such as kids' cartoons, characters, or video games. Age-inappropriate mature themes may include sexual themes, violence, obscenity, medical procedures, self-harm, use of adult horror characters, or other inappropriate themes intended to shock young audiences. Content that targets young minors or contains kid-friendly elements with age-inappropriate themes within an educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic context may receive an exception. This is not a pass to target young minors and families with mature themes intended to shock young audiences. For a comprehensive understanding and specific examples, please refer to our policy. This is not the end of your journey. You can still reapply to the YouTube Partnership Program March 23rd, 2026, as long as your channel meets the requirements. We know this is not the news you'd like to hear, but I can assure you that our team has already exhausted all our resources and made sure that every detail is investigated. Beyond this, there's nothing more that I can add. We have already shared all the relevant information. We wish you the best and luck to your application. Thanks for your cooperation and understanding. All the best, Jem. And finally, they respond saying, okay, so what are the examples in my videos that violates all of these? Because this is gameplay footage of a game called Ark Survival Evolved, a game not made for kids. Dinosaurs are not strictly kids content either. This isn't fucking Barney the dinosaur I am making videos of here. Is Jurassic Park kid-friendly? Is the newest Jurassic World movies kid-friendly? Plenty of violence and people being eaten by dinosaurs for the past 32 years have had dedicated toy lines aimed at children. Your argument falls completely flat on its face. And then in quotes, they mention the line about how they can reapply to the YouTube Partnership Program, and they said, except again, you are not specifying what about my content violates these. I make videos of a dinosaur game. Both my videos and the game are not made for kids. So then, why am I being penalized? Circling back to the initial Dexerto tweet, they quoted a YouTuber named DinoMania, a channel with over 1 million subscribers, who publicly stated that the demonetization wave began after YouTube rolled out expanded automated moderation. Their explanation is rather straightforward. Dinosaurs get lumped into a baby safe category, and any deviation from that expectation triggers advertiser reactions. Horror imagery, combat, destruction, or even sustained tension push the content out of bounds. The result is demonetization applied without regard for audience age, channel history, or intent. No human reviewer watching these videos would reasonably conclude that they are made for toddlers. On the other hand, YouTube has remained silent on the matter, but in general, they've framed their recent policy changes around fighting AI slop. and that goal makes sense on paper. In fact, it's something I do support. This platform has been utterly ransacked by absolute degenerates making garbage AI content that was just pumped out by a clanker. However, this problem has really only gotten worse under the leadership of YouTube's new CEO, Neil Mohan, who has been very open about his love for generative AI and wanting it to ultimately replace human content creators.
You open up the YouTube app, you hit that plus button, you can type in a text prompt and it will generate a video for you using our VO models, right? So that is already happening.
Now let's get into the uncomfortable part of this conversation, and I think it needs to be said plainly since a lot of people might take issue with what I'm about to say. So before going forward, I want to make it abundantly clear that these creators do not deserve this. They very clearly put a lot of time and effort into what they make, and I wish no ill will towards any of them. However, if you strip away the creator names and you look at these two different channels side by side, the visual overlap is obvious. There's flat colors, thick outlines, simplified shapes, and side-on monster silhouettes smashing into each other in brightly lit environments. These are thumbnails built around the same visual aesthetics. Whether the creators like it or not, this style reads as being kid-oriented at a glance. I'm not making a moral judgment there, this is just how I see it. If I saw this in my feed, I would write it off as being something that I am far too old to be watching. Now imagine an automated system that does not watch videos and does not understand context. From a human perspective, it's very easy to separate intent from presentation. It looks like it's for kids, but it really isn't. From a machine perspective, though, the distinction collapses since you have cartoon dinosaurs and monsters fighting, with saturated colors and exaggerated motion, uploaded at a scale across dozens of near-identical channels, but it is different content creators. My point being, if you were training a moderation model to hunt spam, recycled content, or mass-produced kid slop, this cluster would light up as a red flag immediately. This is where the creator's frustration and YouTube's behavior collide head-on. Again, let me clarify that these channels are not low effort or spam. Many of them take serious time to animate, but effort is invisible to AI moderation. I'm not making excuses for that system by any means, but that's just the reality of it. All the system sees is a genre where visual sameness is the norm and it's not the exception. So when multiple channels share a near identical art language, thumbnail structure, pacing, and subject matter, it starts to look like spam or a content farm. And that's exactly the kind of thing that this automated enforcement is designed from the get-go to clamp down on. The creators involved here will argue audience intent, tone, and lore depth, and they are right on those points, but none of that is legible at thumbnail scale. When it's an automated system and it's reviewing this, they're going to see cartoon, animals, action, and go, yep, this is for kids, let's kill it. I'm not excusing YouTube's response by any means. I just want to keep making that abundantly clear. Blanket demonetization with no clear explanation is a bad policy across the board, but I don't buy the idea that this just came out of nowhere, or that these channels specifically in this specific niche were uniquely targeted for no reason at all, and that it was just YouTube's AI system going haywire. The ecosystem they exist in makes them very vulnerable by design. The visuals look the same, they post very frequently, and it's this kind of algorithm-friendly battle formats. That's exactly what spam detection systems are trained to distrust and to take down. The uncomfortable conclusion that I ultimately found myself resting on is that both things can be true at once. These creators are doing real work and they're getting punished unfairly. But at the same time, their collective visual identity makes them indistinguishable from the kind of low-quality, mass-produced kids content that YouTube has been trying to suppress for years. Is that their fault? Not really, because the spam and the low-effort content farms are copying these channels. So as a result, it's like you don't want to blame the victim because the victim didn't do anything wrong. They're the ones being targeted by both YouTube and a lot of these content farms that steal those aesthetics. I'm not offering a solution here, this is just my interpretation of these events. And until YouTube introduces meaningful human review or creators deliberately differentiating how their work looks and presents itself, this problem just isn't going away, and it's only going to get worse from here. I'm Cole McCormick. You're watching Firewood Media. Big thank you to all of our channel members. Their names are listed right up here on screen. It's $1.99 a month. If there's anything you should be getting out of this video, it's that this is an injustice against these content creators. Do your best to speak out. I don't really have a Twitter account anymore, so feel free to do it on that platform. Do it wherever you can. Just spread the word because these people don't deserve this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.